He already knows how you're gonna die. He knows how you're gonna fail. And the worst part, you can't change it at all. In the vast cosmos of the Naruto world, consisting of gods and monsters, there is one being who can gaze into the fractured time itself, and this person is not Kashin Koji that I'm talking about. This isn't prophecy. This isn't fate. It is Momoshiki Otsutsuki, and his future sight is not a power. It's really a curse. And unlike Kashin Koji, who has the divine foresight in the form of 10 directions from Shibai Otsutsuki, Momoshiki's glimpse into destiny, it is personal, it is parasitic, and it is irreversible. Welcome to the true, official, confirmed truth behind the most terrifying form of precognition in the Naruto universe. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video, where we're going to take a look at more of that information that comes to us via the illustrator for Boruto, Mikio Ikemoto, who has dropped quite a bit of lore on us in the new Q&A to celebrate 9 years of Boruto being a monthly manga. Which, quick announcement, yesterday, for full transparency, I fell victim to a troll for the first time in my 10 years on YouTube for the Sarada, Sumire, and Boruto information, which I hate having to admit because I pride myself on, if I say confirmed in the title, I usually have it double sourced, but for that one, the information I got looked so damn legit that it didn't just fool me, but I sent the information I was given to people like Salad Boats in order to check out the information, as well as one other person, and they said that the questions and answers were presented in a way where they had to double check V-Jump Magazine's raw scans themselves in order to make sure they didn't miss anything. Today's information, it has literally been triple sourced from the official translation on the Naruto official website to Salad Boat's translation to another translator who helps me out with the Boruto chapters when the official chapter drops via the magazine in Japan, and they buy the magazine and they send me their translation notes on the 20th of each month. So this one, it is solid, it is hardcore source. And once again, I apologize for yesterday. The video title has been changed. The word confirmed has been removed in order to better reflect the video better. Now, getting into it though, in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we've seen the lingering ghost of Momoshiki be something that was referenced. Boruto is absolutely scared of him. In Boruto Naruto Next Generations, Momoshiki was constantly gaslighting and warning Boruto time and time again, your future's doomed. But fans have long wondered, how does he know? The answer is now officially revealed to us in that Boruto 9th anniversary Q&A, where Ikemoto stated that Momoshiki's ability is, quote, a unique ability that allows him to look into a fragment of the future that directly concerns him. It's similar to the 10 directions technique, but it's not a shinjutsu. Rather, it is something that is backwards compatible in terms of performance, end quote. So this revelation changes everything, because we were previously wondering, did Momoshiki have a version of 10 directions? Did Momoshiki have his own unique shinjutsu? This is something that is just unique to Momoshiki himself. This also is something interesting because it means that Momoshiki is not seeing all possible futures. He's only seeing what matters directly to him, which means that his visions, they're not necessarily divine like Kashin Koji's, where Koji sees all these possible outcomes. These are more obsessive visions that he's seeing. He's not watching the future as some detached god or some being that is using god power like Kashin Koji. What he's seeing isn't necessarily absolute. We've been able to piece that together. Now we know for certain that this is something different. Hence, Ikemoto said that it was backward compatible. He's clawing at it like a parasite inside of Boruto's soul when you think about it. He's hoping for that one set of circumstances where he's going to be able to rise again. Now, you might be going, hey, wait a second. So if it's so similar to Kashin Koji's power, how does it necessarily compare to Kashin Koji? So we have to look at Kashin Koji's 10 directions and then look at Momoshiki's Byakugan Eye. So the contrast in Kashin Koji's powers, 10 directions, it all starts with the fact that Kashin Koji, a clone of Jiraiya, was designed to inherit not just Jiraiya's fire style jutsu and sage mode, etc., but also due to the Shibai transplants, he was able to inherit a prophet power. The 10 directions technique, it is directly inspired by Buddhist cosmology, representing the 10 realms of existence or the dimensions of existence from hell to enlightenment. It is a structured cosmic form of foresight. It is a shinjutsu, a divine art. Koji's ability, it is deliberate, it is detached. He views timelines as branching trees, and when certain events happen and it takes us down a different path, those timelines, they cease to exist. But Kashin Koji, he retains knowledge of everything that happened. Momoshiki's isn't like that. His ability is not a divine law. What he sees when it comes to pass, yes, he remembers what was supposed to happen, but Momoshiki does not know why things did not play out the way that he foresaw them. Case in point, he was so certain that Boruto would be driven into despair and he would be able to take over his body. And before Sasuke saved Boruto, Momoshiki was in the process of taking over his body. His karma seal was spreading across Boruto's body. Boruto could not stop it. He was begging Momoshiki not to harm his friends, and Sasuke prevented the Inashikacho trio from going to ninja heaven. Basically, Momoshiki's power, you can view it as being a Otsutsuki instinct. Momoshiki sees what basically affects his survival. It's not necessarily as him as a seer, but as a virus hiding inside of the host body of Boruto, unable to fully die, watching for cracks in time where he can force his return when you think about it. In order to better understand this, we got to go a little bit deeper into the roots of 10 directions versus Momoshiki's alien origin, because there is a contrast in terms of Buddhist thoughts here. So 10 directions power draws on the inspiration from the Buddhist 10 realms, which are Jikai, which are hell, hunger, animality, anger, humanity, heaven, learning, realization, bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. Each realm is a state of being, and together they represent the full cycle of existence. The 6 past powers that you saw at the Rinnegan are made up of 6 of those realms. Kashin Koji's foresight reflects these metaphysical principles. It allows him to perceive multiple possibilities, each representing a different karmic outcome. That is why it is categorized as a shinjutsu. It is something rooted in cosmic balance. It belongs to the strongest Otsutsuki to have ever existed. But Momoshiki, as an Otsutsuki, he is an alien that exists outside that karmic wheel. Even though Otsutsuki, their powers, to certain extents are rooted in 6 paths, especially Kaguya, his ability doesn't observe the realms when we look at it. Instead, it selfishly bypasses them. And as longtime viewers here of the channel know, when we dive into the Buddhist stuff, what's the one thing that is always punished? Being selfish. This is why Momoshiki's ability is a little bit different, and that makes a lot of sense. It could necessarily be something that when you look at it in terms of how Naruto chakra works, this is more yin related, mental energy, imagination, and selfish desire, emotional desire. His sight is non-Buddhist. It is possibly, if we go into the dig dive of it, it could be possibly inspired by Vedic or esoteric beliefs of personal moksha, liberation not for one's all, but necessarily liberation for oneself. This Q&A, when we look at what Ikemoto is saying, that explains the comment about it being a backwards compatibility. It mimics divine performance without the divine origin because it is selfish. It is like a bootleg god. It is like he is a heretic of fate. Again, moksha, the whole idea behind it is liberation for all. Momoshiki is selfish, and Otsutsuki are beings who do not understand the concept of love itself, which means they don't understand what it means to be selfless, which is why this is him seeking moksha for himself, whereas Kashin Koji is trying to use his power for the greater good itself. In terms of why Momoshiki's future sight should be seen as more dangerous than Kashin Koji's, I'm going to put out a hot take here. So you might be asking, who's more dangerous? Kashin Koji, the quote artificial prophet when you think about it, or Momoshiki, the ghost who's in Boruto's body? So my answer is Momoshiki, because unlike Kashin Koji, whose foresight is observational and it is neutral, Momoshiki to a extent is bound to the outcome. He isn't seeing the future to guide someone else. He's seeing it because his soul, it is fused to it. It directly is linked to his survival. Every glimpse that he gets, it is an omen to what he wants to twist. He isn't predicting Boruto's doom to warn him. He's whispering because he knows that's when he will take control. It goes back to the selfish nature of Otsutsuki. It's also worth noting that Kashin Koji operates with full autonomy. As things change, Kashin Koji sees all these different possible timelines. Momoshiki, on the other hand, he has to wait, and he has to wait for the right opportunity to manipulate. And that is what makes him more dangerous, because he is more desperate than Kashin Koji. His actions, they aren't strategic, they are primal. Kashin Koji is very pragmatic. He is thinking 10 steps ahead. Momoshiki is thinking only, what's the best path for me to get what I want right now? His options, they are basically rooted in his obsession. That's why he panics when he sees Sarada, and he realizes that Sarada is immune to omnipotence, and that she was the one behind sending Sasuke to Boruto, and she was the reason why Sasuke was choosing to believe into Boruto, and it was making him pissed off. That's why he grows silent when he's manifesting outside of Boruto's body. He's talking to him and Kawaki's watching, because he was waiting for the right opportunity to play all the cards he had. Every new variable that pops up, it can ruin the one path he has towards resurrection. Kashin Koji, on the other hand, he sees multiple branches for multiple scenarios. But it essentially boils down to Momoshiki is more desperate than Koji, because Momoshiki is not doing something in a selfless way. He is doing it strictly for himself. If Boruto dies, he dies. He doesn't care about the planet. This is why you could kind of make the argument that Momoshiki might be the true god of the future. So that's the terrifying truth. Momoshiki isn't necessarily a time travel per se. We could look at him more so as being a time parasite. He only sees what can lead to his direct resurrection. Boruto can't necessarily be used to bring Momoshiki back to life in terms of he gets his body the way that he had it, but he's able to hijack Boruto's body and live out his days as he normally would. His version of foresight is like seeing through a broken mirror. Only the shard that reflects his return is visible to him. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He isn't looking at time with divine clarity like Kashin Koji. He's watching it with a desperate hunger. Koji sees fate. Momoshiki is feeding on fate, selfishly. And in doing so, he's waiting for that one moment, that one crack in Boruto's destiny where he can take over forever. And there's a chance Kashin Koji saw something like that. Hence, Boruto told Kawaki, get those limiters off, prepare to kill me if Momoshiki ever takes over. There's more emotion here, and Ikemoto being willing to give away the differences between Momoshiki's ability and Kashin Koji's ability means that there's a lot more coming that we don't necessarily know. Obviously, if you enjoyed this deep dive into philosophy and the power behind Momoshiki's foresight, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click here on the left to check out more videos from Naruto Explained, or click here on the right to check out videos from my other two anime channels.